So in my speech yesterday, first of all, I welcomed everybody to the conference because it's great to see everybody here. I talked about 3 or 4 things. We talked a bit about the pretty tricky economic environment that we're facing, the fact that the economy is sluggish in its growth, the fact that interest rates are rising, the fact that borrowing costs are going up, the fact that that's contributing to the cost of living crisis, which looks to be going on for longer than we had all hoped and having a really difficult impact, particularly on tenants, residents and communities that we work for. I talked a bit about the politics, looking at where the current government is, but also recognising there's an election not very far down the tracks and what we know about what a potential Labour government might do and might say. And then in the middle of the speech, I talked quite a bit about the fact that the government is now legislating for mandatory qualifications in the housing space for senior housing managers and exec directors of housing, and talked about how CIH is working and gearing up to support our members and the sector more widely as they prepare for that change. It's a big change. It's massive recognition for us as a sector. I think it will be good for us. I think there's more to celebrate than there is to worry about, but we've all got a lot of work to do to get ready. So the Social Housing Regulation Bill is just about finishing its rather long and tortuous journey through Parliament. I think the final amendments have now finished all their parliamentary stages and we're waiting for royal assent. Once royal assent has happened, then the bill becomes law, it becomes an act. That's expected any day now, soon in government language, but it's not over till it's over. Once it gets royal assent, it becomes an act of parliament, and then you will see the government start to launch the series of consultations which they will need to launch to put the measures in the bill into effect. There will be a consultation on the new direction from the Secretary of State to the regulator, including on mandatory qualifications, and then there'll be a series of consultations from the regulator about the new regulatory standards. That will include mandatory qualifications, it will include the conduct and competency standard, but also actually going right back to where we started with all of this, there will also be a revised version of the consumer standard, which is a very, very big change, a much more thoroughgoing consumer regulation framework with greater powers of intervention from the regulator and a greater expectation around how tenants and residents are treated and worked with. That's going to change our world quite a lot. So we are working very hard, or at least trying to work very hard, to support members across the board. In terms of the Social Housing Regulation Bill, we've got a big job to do to gear up so that we are ready for the new mandatory qualifications regime when it comes online. We're investing now to make sure that we're ready for that, to make sure we've got the capacity. We're reviewing the content and the quality of what we do to make sure it's what people are going to need. That's all in hand, a lot of work to do, but it's begun and it's going well. More broadly, we want every year to be thinking about how we improve the value that we offer to our members. We continue to do work to support the professional standards framework. We continue to do things like the mentoring platform. Every year we're looking at our free events offer. I think we ran 43 free events for members last year. That's an enormous amount of content, and we will look to the same and to build on that next year and in the years to come, because if you're a membership organisation, right, your members should be at the heart of what you do, and that's what we're determined to make sure happens at CIH. So I would say professionalism is important because I think professionalism is a key part of what the housing sector needs to do to really, really deliver on our purpose. Because it's not about professionalism but for some sort of theoretical reason. It's about the fact that being properly professional, being properly qualified, having the right knowledge, the right skills, but also the right behaviours, the right values, attitudes, ethics, codes of conduct are what it takes to be really good at your job and what it takes to be really good at delivering the outcomes that tenants and residents have every right to expect. So being a professional is about using your judgment to deliver the very best outcomes for the people that you're working with and you're working for. And I think that when we get that right, that means that professionalism means we deliver on our purpose as a sector. So I think there's a really strong argument that qualifications are good for us in the same way as they are good for other professions. We work with, as in our work lives and as private individuals, a whole series of professions where people are required to be qualified and to demonstrate they've got the right knowledge and the right skills. So for instance, somebody was saying to me the other day, if I go to see a medical professional, a nurse or a dentist, I'm really delighted if they treat me with empathy and compassion and they have excellent interpersonal skills, but it really does matter to me that they also know exactly what they're doing before they inject me or stick something in my mouth. So you need those technical skills, that knowledge, as well as those really, really important soft skills and broader professional behaviours. But it's not either or. To be a professional, you need both. So if you want to know more about CIH or you want to know more about professionalism, the best place to start is to go to the CIH website, cih.org. You can find an enormous amount of information there. You can also find the contact details where you can get in touch with us and ask us more questions. If you're a member, don't forget that you get access to all of our briefings and analysis and guidance notes. So go to the website. If you're a member, log on to the website, make that your first port of call, start there and work from there on in.